In this video, we're going to be talking about covalent compounds. In covalent compounds, nonmetals are only written in the formula and in the name. So the name states that the subscripts with prefixes are covalent prefixes. Here are the prefixes that we are given. We have mono, di, tri, tetra, pentagon, penta, hexa, hepta, octa, nona, and deca. So in order to remember these, we created some learning tools, such as in mono, we can use the word monotone, as in people have only one tone of voice, so we can use that as one. And di, as in two, we can say I want to die, so that could be two. Tri as a triangle, so three sides, right? And then tetra as in four, because in Tetris there are 4 squares and a block. And for penta, we can use a pentagon because it has 5 sides. In hexa, hexagon, just like the shape. Hepta, just remember it. Octa, octagon, octopus, whatever. Nona, it looks like 9. And deca, it's a decagon, which has 10 sides. It's a 2D shape. So, for example, we have C's, such as CO2 and CH4. CO2 on the periodic table, see C is carbon and O is oxygen, and the prefix and the subscript 2 is right after it. And if we can see here, the name carbon dioxide comes from carbon and oxygen, and since it follows the basic nomenclature rule of having the ending at "ide", we also add in the covalent compound rule, which is dioxide. The di comes from the subscript 2, and we can remember that because I want to die, and then the 2 can help you remember. And see, H4 is carbon tetrahydride, and tetra comes from the subscript 4, and H is hydrogen. And if we follow the basic nomenclature rule of having the ending end at "ide", we have carbon tetrahydride. One rule, though, that we need to go over through is carbon does not have mono as a prefix, and that is because mono is only used if there's oxygen. Such as some examples here, we have dinitrogen pentasulfide. Nitrogen on the periodic table is N, and pentasulfide, we can see is sulfur hidden in there. So is the symbol S, and then we can see that penta is 5, which means that its subscript is 5, and then since di and dinitrogen, we know that is 2, so its subscript is 2. And then now if we look over CO, we know for a fact that C stands for carbon on the periodic table. And going over the last rule I went over, since there's an imaginary 1 right after O, that is not written, we have mono. Mono is 1, but it's only used for oxygen, so we have carbon monoxide.